One of the most important things that you can do to help your facility team is, number one, face reality. And facing reality starts with understanding the facts. So I'm going to give you some facts and figures that I want you to kind of digest, maybe take back to your facility teams. For those that don't have your facility teams with you, and for those that brought your facility managers and key players, I really appreciate you taking the time out of their schedule and involving them as well. So a number of years ago, I guess 2-3 years ago, we did a nationwide benchmarking survey. We asked, I don't know, 50, 75 questions and had churches ranging from 30,000 square feet to over 500,000 square feet. So it took in the whole gamut. One of those was, what is your facility budget related to staffing, including staffing? And what we came up with was, the respondent said $5.54 a square foot. And when I'm talking square footage, I'm talking square footage on an annual basis, not a monthly basis. So these numbers, make sure you're equating them as an annual number. The reason we use square footage is because your church budget could increase or decrease at any given time, but your square footage stays the same. And so you can't ever look at your facility budget as a percentage of your total church budget. It just doesn't work out. What happens if your church budget dropped by $500,000 next year because of something terrible that happened? You still got the same square footage to heat, clean, and take care of. Well, based on our research and research by a organization called IFMA, International Facility Managers Association, they are the largest international organization for facility managers. It's about $650 to $750 a square foot so even our respondents were somewhere between $1 and $2 a square foot low on what they should be budgeting and spending on facilities. So let me help break that down for you. We have found that the best run facilities are spending somewhere between $525 and $750 a square foot for operations. So you can run these numbers in your own head. So utilities are generally $1 to $1.50 a square foot. Now, if your church is below $1 a square foot, that does not necessarily make you the guru of energy efficiency. It may just mean you're underutilizing your facility. Facilities were meant to be used. They weren't meant to just sit there. Next to the NFL, churches are the worst utilizer of physical space. The NFL builds a stadium at $1 billion in Atlanta for 8 home games for the Falcons. Number one, why would you ever want to build a stadium for the Falcons in the first place? That's a story for another day. Your general maintenance, so your break fix items, your painting, windows broken, toilets unclogged, all that kind of stuff, $250 to $350 a square foot. Custodial, $1.75 to $2.50 a square foot. Now, one of the questions that I'm generally asked is, does that include staff? That includes staff, but it does not include your facility manager unless your facility manager is actually performing those tasks. Which, if your facility manager is performing those tasks, you have to ask yourself, do I actually have a facility manager or do I have a facility maintenance person? Both are necessary, but they are distinctly different titles. What ends up happening, most churches give someone the title of facility manager. They expect them to turn a wrench all day long and not do planning, not do budgeting, not do strategic planning. And the XP or the BA ends up being the ad hoc facility manager doing the things of what a true facility manager should do. The other piece of this component is your capital reserves. Your capital reserves should be somewhere between $2 and $3 per square foot, with the nuance being how much deferred maintenance do you have? Because capital reserve isn't to cover deferred maintenance, which you forgot to do or neglected to do. It's to replace things that have a natural life cycle and are going to have to be replaced because it's end of life.